Here he is, Daisy Thomas from Monday.
Thank you.
Happy Monday, Daisy.
And to you guys, fantastic to
see
be
you.
here again.
I know you are, if not the hardest working man in football. You're in the top three.
Yeah, it'd certainly be up there, and that's probably of my own admission that I told you that about a minute ago. So it's good that you've brought that on air and just raising it to the people, because by the time I come in Monday, I'm probably not at my sharpest, mentally, physically, emotionally, but I get up for you guys.
When
so
are you
you're
getting
welcome.
a day off?
Well, probably not the bye round.
Do you have a day off?
Maybe a Thursday I get some sort of time to myself, but I was looking forward to the bye round that was coming up, obviously, the weekend after
What,
next.
have they knocked that on the head?
Well, it's looking like, yes, as my good mate Habdog from Habdog's Concreting says, just Limp Biscuit, keep rolling. Just keep rolling.
Limp Bizkit. Keep rolling.
A very positive guy, but that's what the AFL look like they're probably going to do. So,
Yeah.
And then from there, it's where does the season go? Because there's talk about they might implement the bye the week before the prelims and then get everyone to Perth in a hub sort of situation. But sort of crunching the numbers, that means if you play in the first week and you win, if you're in the top four, you'll then have 2 weeks off before your next game.
Oh, that's a lot, isn't it?
That's probably not going to happen that way. So it's a real pickle. Again, the AFL find themselves in. Glad it's them, not me.
Yeah, well, when you went into the GF, there was no bye round, was there?
I don't think there would have been, no.
No.
And I don't really, if I was playing, I wouldn't like the bye
You just
round.
want to keep going,
Yeah,
don't
well,
you?
and especially once you're in form, I think of, the GWS Giants, if they can continue to roll now, they've been in really good form the past 2 weeks, just start to get on that roll, get the ball rolling. I'm sure a few of the sides, like your Geelongs, who've now got a couple of injuries, that extra week could be critical for them to get some players back. So it is a real pickle, and we'll have to wait and see.
Big round of football coming up this week.
Oh, yes.
What did you like from the weekend before we project into the future?
Well, I liked a lot of things. I'll tell you what I didn't like. Can we go with one of those? I didn't
Please.
like the MRO. What is going on there? I'm not sure if you saw any of the Geelong St Kilda game, but big Tom Hawk, and I love the Hawk.
Who doesn't?
I don't want to see players getting rubbed out. I just want consistency.
Yeah. What did he do?
Tom Hawk comes flying out of full forward, tackles Joyce, who got the ball, gave it off, rips him into the deck, smashes his head on the ground, goes off concussion. See you later.
Sling tackle?
Sort of that double motion, careless, pin the arms, side saddle,
So
bang.
didn't have to do it.
Could have let go. The guy didn't have the ball.
Sure.
So that's, and we saw it only down at Cardinia Park earlier in the year when Holman tackled Mitch Duncan, who had the ball, was awarded a free kick. He got 2 weeks and then had to go to the tribunal.
So what are you imagining here?
Well, I was imagining a fine. I was hopeful of fine, as I said. I didn't want players, being rubbed out.
Not at this
Tom Hawk
time
got
of year.
nothing.
Nothing at all.
Not
even
even
a fine.
And then you go to the Western Bulldogs game against Hawthorn. Zane Cordy, exact same motion.
Yep.
The player Kaczynski has the ball still, goes off. He gets up, plays on Kaczynski. This Joyce fella goes off concussed. He got sanctioned with a fine.
Right.
It is a bloody lottery, the MRO at the minute. It is confusing. If you're a player, and I said this, I think it was earlier on in the year, as a player, when you used to get your fines on the Monday or you'd get rang up and say, hey, you've got something to answer for, you wouldn't have a clue what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, you've hit someone or you've tackled someone high. Now I would imagine players who just have no idea what is going on.
This is not the first time you've brought this up.
Well, and it's becoming just a real cause of frustration. Obviously, the Toby Green one the week before, and then there's incidents with Bailey Fritsch early in the year. So the consistency
It's just not there.
and the clarity that the MRO was brought in to bring is just not there.
I wonder if it's time for old mate to have a break.
Chris O?
Yeah.
Well, I think he probably needs to have a review and come up with some solutions, because if you got one man for the job who isn't doing the job right, it's arguably that he's not the right man for the job.
How long can you hold that job? There should be a rule around how long you can have that job.
Well, the game's
Because then
evolving.
you really start to set a tone.
Well, and it does, but the game's evolving, and even in those 3 instances I said there's some clarity and some real. Well, some of them are footballing motions, some of them aren't. But the ones that aren't the footballing motions, you're getting off with. So it's just strange times.
Daisy Thomas with us this morning.
Daisy's winners.
Listen to this.
Winners.
It's a pointy end of the year,
Yeah.
Daisy.
Well, it is, and I'll give you a top eight update just before we start. So GWS and Essendon, and they're in 7th and 8th at the minute. So if they win this week, GWS have got the Blues, Essendon have got the Pies. They will finish the year in those positions.
so
and both
we know
play
the
finals
8.
if they win.
Potentially now we know the 8.
If they both bugger it up, that means West Coast will need to beat Brisbane, or one of Freo needs to beat the Saints.
Well, Freo could beat the Saints, you feel like, but I don't think West Coast West Coast could beat Brisbane.
Strange year, so we'd probably be relying on the first two, so we don't have to get into the mathematics of other options. And
Can North still make the 8?
if they win, so it's one round left. If they win 11 of their last one, and other results go their way, I think
They
they're
could
a chance.
still make the 8.
They're almost the form team of the competition the last month, but
First wooden spoon in 49 years for the Roo Boys.
look, I've got 2 of them, and they're all decorations for the tree.
Have
so,
you really got 2 of them?
I might even be more. I'm not sure, but
How is it around a wooden spoon club? What are you saying to each other to sort of get through pre-season?
we can turn this around.
We can turn this around,
And,
fellas.
yeah, generally when you go and win the wooden spoon the next year, you haven't turned it around. So
Yeah, that's tough.
look, footy clubs are full of lies and falsities, as we learn. So we just push on and hope for the best. So hopefully for North Melbourne, someone else craps it next year.
It was like in year 11 science in the first term when I got E48, and I said to Dad, I can do this. I can improve. I can go term 2. And then I got E43, and Dad said, no more science for you. I said, thank you, big man. I'm out.
And that's probably a good story of understanding versus perseverance. Every now and then you just got to raise that white flag and
Mate,
go, I'm no good at this.
All I knew was the periodic table.
Yes.
I can still tell you iron, Fe, magnesium, Mg.
Well, what an amazing chat this has been. And
Yeah,
I'll
no,
just
it's
push
good
on
fun.
now with
Stick
my
around.
winners for the weekend, and we can go back through your great knowledge of the periodic table and all things E. So is E43 your mark?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so that's bad.
Yeah, it was awful.
Righto, the first winner on the weekend was the Giants, the first game
Did you
of the
think
round.
it was a compound chemical
Yeah,
equation?
and your dad didn't really understand it, so he made
He's
you quit.
made ethanol. No, he hasn't. He got E43.
Yeah, I only heard of E10. You don't put that in the diesel.
No. That's an expensive mistake.
Correct.
that's
Yes.
funny.
Anyway, the Giants beat the Tigers, so they're in 7th at the minute. As I said, they can hold their spot if they
Yes.
beat the Blues this weekend, I think it is. Essendon, well, they're on a roll, and
They
they
are.
touched up the Gold Coast. So now they're in 8th spot, which is unbelievable considering where they've come from. Even the Giants, they started the year zipping 3. So to have themselves in 7th spot, and they've knocked off the Cats last week, and Tigs this week, so they're going along nicely. But the biggest winner, and I think we can probably all agree on this, the Hawks.
Oh, my God.
And not just the Hawks, their coach, Alistair Clarkson.
Yeah.
The joy he's getting at the minute
Yeah.
from winning, his team playing well, responding, and he's just walking around with a big grin on his face.
Yeah.
You can almost see through the grin that he's got the double fingers
Yeah,
up
it's
to
flipping
Big
up.
Jeffrey.
The double bird.
And anyone else at the club that sort of undermined him and didn't handle that so well, just saying, hey, here's a big F you.
Who are they playing next week?
They play
Could he leave on a win?
in the final round. Is it the Tigers? From
Hawthorn play the Tigers.
There you
correct.
go. That's from
Oh,
memory.
Gee, that'll be a good game.
So they will give themselves a chance. So that is
Tigers are down.
and to send Clarko off in style. So the way Clarko has handled himself on the way out, it's just nice
Wonderful.
when you get the nice little victories and you
And
can.
he's done it all. He's shed a couple of tears. He's welcomed the new bloke. He's thanked the playing group. He's had a couple of wins and a light shot at Jeff.
Yes, and that isn't that light at the minute. He's
mean,
just
he's-
a big genuine.
He's ticked every box.
Yep. So to whoever gets him next year, all the very best because he is on top of his game. Most of the coaches, when they get sacked, they're sort of coming towards the end. Well, Clarko, he's proven that he's still got it. So he is the big winner for the week.
Oh, well done, Daisy. Have a lovely week, mate.
I will do. You too. I'll see you all next Monday.
Next
sure.
Monday.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, good.
The Mighty Sheargold Show. Triple M.